Welcome back to the Talk of Louisville, everyone. I'm Mike Mulroney.
I'm Kellye Duckworth.
Kellye, have a good weekend.
I did.
You're having a great day. Today's your anniversary, right?
It is.
Was
Thank
it 20, 30 years?
you. 7, but feels like
7?
it. Yeah.
You're not even at the ball and chain year. What's that, 10?
I don't know. I keep hearing different things.
I'm going to get in trouble for that one. I don't know who it was.
I know. Yeah, no. 7 years.
It only gets better from here.
I know.
Yeah, you think?
I know.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't complain. I'm very lucky myself, and she'll smack me when I get home. Real quick, our sponsor for today, Jig's Fruit Market on Valley Station Road. Amazing, amazing family-owned business that, we've bought flowers. You see all the flowers on the screen. We've bought flowers from other places, and they just don't last. And you can water them, do whatever, but when we get them from Jig's, they'll last all summer.
I just have to remember to water them.
Yeah, well, that's a
Not
problem.
very good at
My
that.
wife does that. She enjoys it. So, but yeah, get your stuff at Jig's. They sell that. They sell fresh fruit. Strawberry season. They have some steaks or something they sell. What are they? The big tomahawk steaks. They got those. Fruits, vegetables, tomatoes. Check them out. They're amazing. Valley Station Road, local Jig's Food Market. All right. Fruit market, not food market. So our special guest today, Ms. Crystal Bast, how are you?
I'm fantastic.
And Mr. Dan Seum Jr.
How you doing?
If nobody recognizes these two people, two are Metro Council folks. Crystal's newly elected.
I am.
How's it feel?
Coming in.
Coming in hot? Is that what you're going to say?
I was going to say coming in hot, but I changed it. But it's the time for accountability, and we're trying to bring community back into our neighborhoods.
Was it hard to figure out the mess? I mean, it seemed not mess, but I mean, when you step into a new job, there's a lot of things to pick up on. So are you kind of finding your way? You're getting there?
I mean, we came in with a bang. We started counseling before we was actually counseling because we had the snowstorm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we was having to deal with that coming in, and then we have the flooding and then the tornadoes and all of this stuff that's wrapped up in the last 5 months.
So even before you were elected, people knew you were running, so you kind of got involved in that stuff. So
yeah, I mean,
You're already out there.
I was already out there before I ran. I was working in the community, advocating, helping the neighbors, and so it's just kind of second nature.
What is your district? Where does it run?
District 14, we start at Greenwood Road on the running along the riverside. So I would say north of Dixie Highway, and kind of follow that all the way up till you hit Gene Snyder. And then I split to both sides of the highway all the way to West Point.
I'm trying to picture that in my head on a map.
Yeah.
I think I got it now.
Yeah, Greenwood Road.
I don't know who was drinking when they drew up these districts, but I mean, I think we could have got a little bit. Somebody said this weekend, a friend of mine, she goes, I'm going to prove to y'all that the world is flat. Well, flat would have been good because you would have been cutting corners and everything else.
I think they try to go in and design them so there's roughly about the same amount of people in each district. So each district has over 30,000 people that you are over.
Oh, my gosh.
So one person.
So there's 30,000 people out in your district, roughly?
Yeah, I think last time we looked, there was about 35.
See, I cheated ourselves. Somebody said something the other day about Dixie Highway, and they said, we got a pool of 25,000 people, and I was talking about the whole area. So you're claiming you got 30 people.
Just 30,000. In my district.
Well, okay, so we got, maybe it's closer to 100,000 then if you throw in Fairdale and Okolona and all that.
And Trively.
So in, 25, and you throw in Jonathan Joseph's district.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dan, you're a seasoned member of Metro Council. How many years have you been elected?
3.
Three.
This is the third year.
That's, 4 years term?
It's 4-year term.
So 8.
I decided to go into local politics. Been working state politics for a long time. Wasn't elected, but I worked with my father, who was a senator, on cannabis issues, helmet issues. So I've been involved with it, but I wanted to do something where I could see a little more bang for our buck.
Yeah.
Here in Metro. I was approached to run. I was basically semi-retired, and the guy a friend of mine, he said, Dan, we're turning into another Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked, and I've looked around, and I've seen what's going on with the homeless, and I've got a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old niece that lives next to me. And I said, I'm in. Let's go do it. Let's try to fix Louisville.
Throw your hat in and try and make some changes, right?
Try to fix it.
What district are you in?
13. That's
13.
Fairdale, Scottsdale, Yorktown, goes up to Preston Highway, and we have the Jefferson Forest in my district. But we have 30,000 in our district also. It's all lined out where there's 30,000 in each district. So we have a a pretty good swath to cover.
Yeah, for sure. What brought it up when I was talking about earlier, the population out here is, we were talking about Shirley's Deal stores and the stores we've implemented and how many people are in an area would support a store. And that's what I said. I popped off. So, there's over 20,000. So I was way off. So your district, Jonathan's, that's 90,000 people right there if you look at it.
Right.
That doesn't include the Okolona side and what Beachmont, I guess you could say. But is Hillview part of yours as well down Preston?
Close.
Okay.
Parts of it. I go not that far, but I got Preston's Crossing, and then I go down Blevins Gap. I've got part of Blevins Gap.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good little bit of land that we cover, and it's 30,000 that we serve. We serve 30,000 each.
Yeah, and then the council person for Valley Station Road, Prairie Village, all of that. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Anyway, he's got like 30,000 people in there as well, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. So that's 120,000 people. We got plenty of bandwidth for these.
We have a lot of folks here in Southwest Louisville, and Southwest Louisville has been underserved for many, many years, and that's why we're now in, because the folks have realized how underserved they've been, and they put us in to serve them.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, and I've lived out here my entire life, and I've always felt that way. It seems like when money gets brought in from the city, it goes to different parts, and sometimes we kind of get forgotten for whatever reason. Are there any big things in the budget? I see you have the budget listed here. Are there anything in the budget that's coming this way? I know you got quite a bit of money for the forest, but that came from the state, correct?
And city.
Okay. It was what, 5 million or something?
We've got about 5 million so far, and we're going after a whole lot more federally. We've had Mitch McConnell's staff tour the forest. We've had Morgan McGarvey's staff tour. We've had Rand Paul, and Craig Greenberg, the mayor, just was in Washington 2 weeks ago, advocating his top 3 priorities. One of them is the forest. We have the largest urban forest in America, and nobody knows about it.
I didn't. I knew about it, but I've never really thought much about it. I know some friends of mine recently started doing some hiking. I go up there, and I was amazed at how many trails and stuff are up through there.
Well, we had dinner at Shack in the Back like a couple Fridays ago, sitting out on their patio, and they have that big sign now that says like Gateway to the Forest.
You had that done, didn't you?
And then Phelps.
Are we going to get one of those?
I know. Gateway to Valley Station.
Yeah. So the master plan that's being done for the forest right now, it's been a big, huge of what I've been vocal about prior to me even coming in. We want to open the forest up on our side.
I say it's connected, right? From Dan's section to your section?
Yeah. So there's areas back in there off Blevin Gap that we are wanting to open up, get a gateway to the forest too. We're looking at so many things. We have so many ideas, from tree houses to concert venues back there where we can do concerts in the forest. I would love to find a way to implement programs in for the children, learn about nature again, accessible to the lakes and the hiking trails back there, and all that's going to blow up over the years once we get that master plan done. And they're kind of putting our district into it now, where we can go down Blevins Gap and get into the forest now.
Yeah, I knew it connected somehow, but I never thought about it being part of our Dan section. Dumb question. Is it, y'all may not know the answer to this, but does it tie into Burnham somehow? Does it come up around where that's at?
It can, but we're not.
That's a huge.
It's a big attraction, and it might be. I don't know that it. I don't want it to be a competition. I want it to be part of the tri-circle. You know, people that come from out of state, they're going to come to our Jefferson Forest and then go to Bernheim. You know, but the thing about Bernheim is the economic incentives and the prospects and the possibilities of all around that 7,000 acres. We're talking Bullitt County, Brooks, West Point, Valley Station, PRP, and this is all going to tie in, because what Greenberg and what we're going to do is we're going to market this thing regionally. People are going to know about Jefferson Forest in Virginia.
Yeah.
And we're going to bring them in. And so that's going to bring so much more development. What the fellow's going to do up at the Waverly Hills, Mattingly. Mr.
Charlie.
Mattingly.
Yeah.
He's going to develop his place. There's a lot of things that we can look forward to in Southwest Louisville. And one of the things that I want to touch on when you said, everybody else was getting things that we weren't. It's because we didn't have representation.
Right.
We did not have anybody up there hammering and with the squeaky wheel, that was saying, bring the focus to us.
We do now.
We do now. And we've got a
say it loud, say it proud.
I love being with Crystal because I was up there and kind of alone, when in my freshman year and fighting for 3 years to get, but now we've got Crystal and Jonathan Joseph and even Jenny Woolridge, who's on the outskirts, but she's fighting for us. So we're going to get some things done here, and Greenberg knows it. He's on it. And
good
money.
That's good.
Well, and we're trying to bring the focus back to us, and it's not so much that even there's a big picture that a lot don't understand. We have a ton of committees out here and boards for different things, and the South really doesn't have representation on those boards. So it's very important for the people at home. If you're interested in getting on a board, we need you.
Wait, what do you mean? What kind of boards?
So they have boards, just for an example, they have parks boards. There's Barnsley Mormon boards. There's housing and development boards.
We need a chamber of commerce for the South End. That's what we need.
Yeah.
I really think we do. I mean, there's one in J-Town. There's one in St. Matthews. There's one Greater Louisville, Inc., or maybe that would roll under that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that might help a little bit.
For all of the South End.
Yeah, for all South End. And I'm talking Shively, Valley, PRP, Fairdale, Okolona.
Yep.
I mean, to me, we're all one big family this side of 65. But I think that might make a big difference.
It would make a big difference. And sadly, we had people jump the gun on that. And kind of excluded the rest. So we're going to try to rectify that somehow.
Yeah.
And which we will. But I think even without that, the prospects, the forest, and the money, we're talking $70 million going into this forest.
Where'd all that come from?
It's coming federally.
Really? Oh, okay. Because I knew $5 million. Emily and them really helped you get state money.
$70 million.
That's incredible.
And
I mean, could this turn into, the hills of Kentucky? Granted, that's probably Lexington and all that, but it's still beautiful country. Is there a way to tie that in and market it and create it like a little small Gatlinburg or something?
That's been my push. I was ready to say I've used it for examples like up there where they have the wooden bridges, you can walk and see the light shows, and they have all of this beautiful signage and things that, that's going to help. We want the retail, they want the sit-down restaurants. Well, in order to do that, we have to bring people to the area and clean it up and make it prosperous again. And that's how we do it.
That's pretty cool. That's exciting. I mean, with all the hiking trails, if you could turn it into something like that and somehow get some cabins up there people could rent out. Treetop stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Compared it to Anakista.
Yeah. I don't know what
that is.
Yeah. Going.
You didn't, in Gatlinburg, it's that
make fun of me?
Probably. That new little place up top of Gatlinburg.
They have like little areas you can sit around with a fire and
way up on top of the mountains where the Indian things are or something.
No, they have like
it's fairly new, probably within the last few years. So if you haven't been to Gatlinburg, I think you just went.
No, we didn't. We've been talking about it. The kids really liked it.
I love Gatlinburg.
And I do too. I just didn't really think they would enjoy it.
There's like
that's what we're trying to do. Fairdale is give a look, because it is the gateway. And we've done murals. We've got the Galapalooza. We've got the archway, and we've got the
somebody painted a building down there. Something.
Well, sitting at Felt or sitting at Shack in the back, you could see on
13
Phelps.
is such a different district than 14 because we want murals and we want ways to represent, but Dixie Highway corridor is not set up for businesses to put murals on and things like that. So we are looking at some different stuff, and each council member, a lot of people don't understand with the budget. We have restrictions ourselves. Each council member only gets $75,000 of neighborhood development funds and $100,000 of capital infrastructure funds. And what that looks like is that $75,000 has to last a year. And to just kind of give you an example, I am really fighting to get, we have a real problem on a lot of our streets with speed. That's one of the number one things. And obviously, I can't stop people from speeding. And obviously, we can't go through the whole city and put speed humps on every single street. And really, we don't get speed humps. We get speed bumps. And I have 2 streets in my neighborhood that have them, and they still fly right over them.
Yeah. I think those are great, but they're so annoying.
Well, how much are they? I was going to say.
That's
Right, like
what I was
20
getting
grand or
into.
something?
So, like, when it comes to speed humps, that's one of the number one things that people in our district are asking for, and they're very expensive.
Like how much?
And
$4,500, $5,000.
Oh, that's not
Per
bad. I was
speed
thinking
bump?
$10,000.
per
You have to
speed
have
bump.
two, and then you got to have the signs. You have to put signs to warn of the speed hump, which is more.
Yeah.
So I mean, it gets costly, and when you only got $75,000 or $100,000 to work in there, so you can shift back and forth, but that's ate up big time on speed humps.
Well, the signs, you said that a friend of mine's pretty high up in the city. We're down at the lake, and we were going to put some on our lake road, and he said, you might not want to do that because unless the city or county knows about it, you could be sued if somebody hits them and they're not up properly or does damage or something like that. So it's a process to get it done correctly.
If you take an average street per se, and just for everybody that knows, on my Facebook page, Crystal Bast, Councilwoman Crystal Bast, and Councilman Dan Seum, we have a lot of information out there that we pin, and when it comes to speed humps, it's not up to us initially. It has to go through a process, and they have to look at that street, and it has to be approved that speed humps will work or be approved for that. And then obviously if we went through and as council with $75,000, we go and we pay for speed humps. Average road, 2, 3, or 4 of them, we've ate into half of our budget for the entire year.
Yeah.
So we're stuck with coming up with policies for our office. Like mine per se is I'll give $10,000 a year for speed humps in a neighborhood. 51% of the people on the street have to approve. Once you're approved from the city that you can get them. And then the people on the street pitch in and have to pay 50% of the speed humps, because if not, we would be broke in 2 months.
Wow.
We need
And I
one
hate
on our
that.
street bad. They fly around that curve around by my
I was
house.
going to say that's the worst one. Yeah. That street.
But that's kind of what I was going into. We're fighting for West Pages right now in Devonshire. There's a huge speed problem on that road, and we've had a gentleman that has had his house hit 4 times.
Yep.
There's been 5 fatalities on this road. And we just, slow down, guys. I mean, it's a 35-mile-per-hour road. We're clocking people going 90 miles an hour on this.
Yeah, I'm probably guilty.
And we, and as council, we pitch in and we want to jump in and help this. And, it's going to be costly. And we have quite a few areas like that in our area that it's.
Is the West Pages the one they're trying to widen, or is that, which one over by that school that ties into Terry? Is that Johnson? I thought they were widening one of them.
I thought they've been widening
St. Peter
Greenwood
the
for
Apostles on that road, aren't they? Aren't they widening that one?
Johnstown?
Or do you know?
Not to my knowledge.
I don't know. When you said speeding, I didn't know if widening would make a difference and put some barriers in it.
They have a lot of things that they throw out initially. Widening the white striping down the roads and thinning certain areas where it gives the illusion. It's an illusion thing because right now, you get on West Pages and it's full throttle down. You can see the stoplight at Terry because there's nothing to restrict you to pay attention. So there's things that we're looking at, measures to throw in on that road that's going to help.
One of the things I'm really advocating for is automated enforcement. It's going to be a struggle, but it's important. These people know that we're short so many police officers. They're not out there patrolling. They have no pursuit policy. And what I'm advocating for is it's cameras. They can be calibrated where you can 10 mile over, they're not going to get you. But we've clocked them doing 95 mile an hour in our residential roads. And it's cameras that they're using to prosecute these street takeovers when they have the racing and all that, and we're confiscating these cars.
Good.
And these cameras, with this video evidence, we can confiscate these cars.
Other states have that.
They do, but
I know somebody that was mailed a ticket for speeding
people
from
in
another
Frankfurt,
state.
because Frankfurt says, "Well, you're not going to spy on me. We don't know Big Brother." But the fact is, I don't think we have much right to privacy on a public road. We have window tinting laws for a reason. We want to know who you are. And before COVID, and which it should be back to, is we had no mask. And for a reason. We want to know who you are. And we need to get back to that, but that's that'd be another topic that we could talk about.
Yeah.
Right now, on this automated enforcement, I went to Florida. I came back. I had a citation in the mail.
I was gonna say
3 pictures.
Yep.
I mean, before I ran the red light, during and after. I could not deny it. I had my license plate. I paid the bill. I've been back since, and I don't run that red light.
It's a good deterrent. As much as I don't like the idea of it, all it takes is one person's son or daughter or loved one to get killed on the road. Then somebody at the state's going to push a bill and enforce it. But until then, until they're impacted, I guess they just don't see the big picture.
Street, the ones in Fairdale, all the mailboxes are out on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Some you have to go across.
A lot of them are on those long poles, aren't they? That reach out.
And you got to go across the street to get yours because they only do them on one line. No sidewalks whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was cutting grass, and a 95-year-old neighbor of mine was passed out, had fell down on the concrete going to her mailbox, blood. If somebody's doing 95 mile an hour, which they've been clocked, they're not going to be able to stop for that.
Yeah.
And speed, and these little, you see your speed limit, the flashes, they use that for a trigger.
Oh yeah.
Let's see how fast they can get it up there. We have got them clocked 95 in 30 mile an hour zones.
Oh
and then you go back, like mine. I kind of get a speed hump on Jefferson Hill Road in Fairdale. Well, it has to be 25 mile an hour at least. It's 35 there. Okay, make it 25.
Right.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. You see, it's 95 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Well, and we have to support LMPD and get them the tools and resources they need to do this job. I mean, obviously, us as council, we can't control or do anything about speeding, but what we can try to do is have those tough conversations and get the tools and resources and the funding that the police need to help with those issues.
Well, I think that's one thing that really needs to be fixed. I wanted to talk about things in your districts that you think that your constituents are the most concerned about. Mm-hmm. I think we did a little survey one time. I think you all came, but the biggest one was crime. Mm-hmm. Are y'all working towards that? What's it look like? I know the budget's on here to discuss. Is there obviously money budgeted to hire more officers? Is that the problem, paying the officers, or is it
half of the budget this year is for public safety?
Okay.
That's huge.
Is that more than normal?
Yes,
okay.
That's huge. And we are taking steps, but us as council, what we can do in our areas is try to find ways to help the police. And with doing that, that's always been one of my things is, neighborhood watches. They're very important.
You started yours before you were even a councilwoman.
Yes.
I mean, and I don't even live in your neighborhood, but just what you've done over there is crazy.
Thank you.
I mean, they're all teaming up together, and like last night, I think you had
and that's
issues
what we want to try to do to help. I think it starts in our neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. We have to bring back beautification of our neighborhoods and find a way to make people care again. Mm-hmm. And what that looks like as a neighborhood watch is, you've got to have someone obviously take initiative and step up and be that leader first. Mm-hmm. That leader pulls in people that they know or work with, and it's a trial and error. Sometimes it don't work out and sometimes it does. Then you pull in people. Well, we just don't want to be a Facebook page that we plop everything on. You got to get out there and you've got to be active in your community. If you care about your community, stop complaining and remaining and get out there and do something.
Yep.
We don't just neighborhood watch. If a neighbor's tree falls, we all get together and we go help. If an elderly neighbor needs her gutters cleaned out, we go help.
Y'all do cleanups and everything in your neighborhood, don't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what I thought.
And if there's a child missing, we have radios. We go out in the neighborhood. We help find these kids.
Oh my gosh.
Last night, we had some things going in the neighborhood. You're not welcome in our neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Breaking into houses and cars. We're watching. We're going to find you.
It's a good way to get shot in some of these areas.
I mean,
you picked the wrong house.
We get on there and we're like, 3 running on this road with this description. Mm-hmm. Police are chasing, and we are all collaborating.
And the next person's like, now they're on this street. Now they're on this street.
And they get caught.
Yeah. It was awesome.
And that's what we got to do. And
I think we need to go back to letting the cops chase the criminals.
Absolutely.
They need to start to pursue them in a safe way, but there's to just shut it down just because there's a no chase law or whatever it is. So.
Crime is we're in chaos right now.
Yeah, I feel like a third world country sometimes.
We just had I'm a chair of safety, so we're over the police, fire, EMS, And we're right now in budget season. So they come and they talk to us and they give us facts and figures and data to secure more funding. And they come in with this data. This one group comes in, and they used to be Ocean. They got a new name, but they said they were 30% below reduction in gun violence. 30%. Hey, hallelujah. So when it comes, I got my chance to speak, and I'm looking, and this 30% they use this to dictate their funding, right? To defend their funding, and they want millions. So I asked him, I said, well, let me ask you something. In your data here, if somebody takes a gun and beats somebody with it, is that gun violence? No, that's not counted. If somebody was to shoot somebody and miss, is that counted in your gun violence? No. Is it gun violence when somebody takes a gun to some old lady's face and takes her car? No, that's not counted. I said, and I just, it was a joke.
I've always said you can make any number look however you want, and that's what they did.
And that's what they're doing. And one of the things that I'm really harping on is we've got countless nonprofits to help those who are helpable. But there are a percentage of people who are determined to hurt us, who are determined to come out and steal from us, to rape our children, to rape our daughters. They will kill you.
Yeah.
They will literally take your business
and sleep like a baby at night.
And they're doing it with all impunity because they know we don't have enough police officers.
Well, and then we had this podcast a few weeks ago about the judges, because it's not only the police that if they keep taking the same person down and they just keep getting let out.
I'm so sorry.
What's
I've
the
had
point?
multiple conversations with police officers, and I mean, some of these pickups they do, they are stuck with that person 12 to 14 hours, stacks of paperwork. And, a lot of it's the juveniles. It's a juvenile issue. We have a huge juvenile issue.
Yep.
They hold on to this juvenile 12, 14 hours. They go downtown to book them. The judge smacks them on their bum and sends them on out.
Yeah. Yeah. Christine's all over.
Here we are again.
Yeah, that's a big problem. I don't know that you could sue judges, but somebody's going to have to do something to straighten this out.
The juvenile thing, it is, we have no place to take them.
Why do we not have a detention center anymore?
We have one that's been funded, but they won't build it.
Why?
That's what they're freaking out about.
I remember when I was in school, you would hear, I would hear students say, "Oh my God, I got in trouble. If I screw up one more time, I'm going to juvie."
I remember.
And it was a scary thing.
I remember it. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it was a scary thing.
I am a person that I have to have results. I look at a fix.
Yeah, me too.
One of the things I'm looking at right now that is it's driving me nuts is we have three prisons in LaGrange, 30 minutes from here, 40 minutes. KSR, Roederer, and Luther Luckett. In these prisons, you have hospitals, you have school, gym, church, beds, and they're going to tear them down. They're tearing them down so Oldham County can be prettier and have some more economic pretty development. In the meantime, we have, in any given night, 1,600 to 2,000 homeless people. We have juveniles who will shoot you rather than to look at you.
Yeah.
And we have violent criminals. And you ask these cops, there's no place to take them.
I saw the jail was full the other night.
They're full.
And somebody was like, I've never heard of the jail actually being full.
That's because there's no consequences for anything.
We have communities of homeless people here in her district.
Yeah,
I know.
And they're their own communes. They pimp off women so the women can be safe. They're selling the women off. They're selling drugs. Everyone, the cops will tell you, everyone's got a weapon. And when they get hungry, they go steal it. And they're literally doing it with all impunity, no problem, no consequence, no nothing.
We've got to fix this. Again, every time I've talked to anybody in the community, that's their biggest concern: crime and homelessness, and we're allowing it. And we helped a lot this past year, but I'm sitting there thinking, all we're doing is enabling this stuff.
We are.
We'll feed you once, we'll feed you twice, we'll feed you 3 times. After the 3rd time, we got to get you some help and get you go somewhere.
Rick Sanders is the chief in J-Town.
Yep.
He's got 2 options for you. We'll take you and get you some help, or you're going to jail, but you're not staying out here.
Well,
now, the police issue you was talking about, they keep telling us telling you the public that we're 250 short.
It's way more.
I've had a major tell us we're 1,200 short.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing.
At any given time, there might be only 2 people on patrol out of the precinct.
Mm-hmm.
When you have people when you have council people standing up, being paid to belittle our police, to stand in these groups and say defund the police, and they have found a way to get voted on to Metro Council. And what they're doing is they are empowering these kids to carry guns, to go against our police, and these policemen and their wives are saying, "Why bother?"
Mm-hmm.
The ones that we have left right now, that's gone through all this Brianna stuff, and they're there because they love our city and they want to protect it. Yeah. We don't have no bad cops right now, but they keep hammering our police, and I'm fed up with these people hammering our police.
Yeah, they definitely need some support.
Well, the homeless, it's a visible problem in our area. We all see it. And, everyone deserves an opportunity to thrive and live with some dignity. And we have to find a way to help the ones that need help. And the ones that don't, we've got to find somewhere that they can go.
Mm-hmm.
And what that looks like, I don't know. That's going to take a lot of conversations because it really is. It's very in-depth. But what we can't have is the calls from the businesses. We've been called. I've got calls and complaints. feces being smeared on walls, bathrooms being used for drug-related, and blood everywhere, and flushing the needles. And we're never going to thrive as a community and grow positively in this area if we don't get it under control.
Mm-hmm.
And no one, and I repeat, no one should have to pick up human adult feces.
Oh yeah, trust me.
From someone else.
I was gonna say, have you been to our place?
We know.
This all sounds like
panhandling has got out of control on the corners and getting harassed, and it's cruel, really. I mean, some of these people need help. If they have addictions, we need to get them in help. They shouldn't be walking around putting their lives in danger as well as others.
I know there was a state law passed, but the problem is, even if you hold them accountable, if you arrest them, there's nowhere to take them. You can't hold them. You can't do anything.
Dollar General can build a store in 4 weeks.
Trust me, brother. I know. I know.
These organizations,
and have it stocked in a day. No, I'm with you.
We've really got to start diving in and look at some of these organizations that are being fed all this money from the city to address homelessness, but they're just feeding and taking supplies. We need to get them help. Or better yet, some of these organizations need to grab a trash bag and come clean up some of the piles of stuff that us as homeowners and business owners are dealing with that's left for us to clean up.
Yeah.
It's expensive. You've got dumpsters. They tear it all up, they pull it all out, or illegal dumping.
I was about to talk about that one.
You've got to pay for those extra dumps. It's not free. It's not okay to say, well, at least they were trying to do the right thing.
Yeah,
no, they wasn't. They illegally dumped in a business dumpster that they have to pay for.
Yeah.
Our garbage man actually dumped a person out of our dumpster into the back of his truck.
In there or something. Yeah.
There are every month in another district. It's funded for a free dump site once a month in each district. Outside of that, every day you can go to Meriwether and dump up the 4 large items for free and up to 4 tires for free.
So the mattresses on the side of the road.
Every day.
People just dropping them.
I saw a nice chair the other day sitting over by the apartment.
Took it to deals.
I know.
One of the things I want to say this too is I don't want us to sound like we have no compassion, because some of these people are on the streets because we have forced them out. In my district alone right now, the average 1-bedroom apartment is $1,237.
Yeah, don't get us started on affordable housing.
Yeah,
and there are people that have been forced out of their homes because of gentrification. There's people that are mentally unstable that need help that we can't get into state hospitals because we don't have them.
They don't have medication, so
we don't have state hospitals either.
Yeah,
and we let them sleep on concrete. We let them. And we've got hotels, motels that are boarded up.
Yep.
We've got the one there on Fern Valley and 65 that's been going for sale for I don't know how long.
My whole
We've
life,
got
I think.
warehouses in Portland that could be done. Wayside Christian Mission has warehouses that they put stuff in, but they ain't got a homeless person in there.
Yeah,
they use it for junk storage.
And
it's a big warehouse,
and they get a lot of money.
And they get a lot of money, and it's pathetic what they're doing. And I sit back, and it actually it's both parties.
Yeah, I know.
It's both parties.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've been run by a philosophy in Louisville that has not worked and has brought us into chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know who's been in charge, and I'm at the point now is. You've had it for 20 years. You've screwed it up this long. Now you're going to have to stop and sit down while we try to fix this. And if you want to get in on the job and help us fix it, then we're glad to have you.
Yeah, I think fixing this problem is doable. It's just we need places to send people and places to manage it. And you're picked up 3 times. You know, you're taken to this facility, and, you know, we had U of L Mental Health on here a couple of weeks ago, and it's like, you know, we can't hold anybody. If they bring somebody in, we can only keep them for 24 hours. And if they want to walk out, I said, what if they're screaming and yelling and they refuse to take their medicine? Well, we can only keep them so long.
Or
we have to let them out the door.
You or anything.
Yeah, and it's just
scary
crazy.
World, you know. I think about when we were younger and the the endos of when you go, or the zombies walking around, and it's a form of zombie.
Yeah.
And I hate it, and to have to live in this world that it's sad that that's where we're at with the opportunity that we have in this country, and we have people living on the streets.
That's because of the philosophy we have been living under and voting into offices for the last 20 years in Jefferson County.
Yeah.
We have been under a different, another philosophy. And I'm not trying to call out, because there are people on both sides of the aisle that are centrists that will work with you. But this philosophy that's been voted in Louisville has ruined us.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to get tough on crime. Yeah. I don't care what color you are.
Yeah.
You're good or you're bad.
Yeah.
And if you're bad, we got to take you out. And another thing we got to start thinking about is juvenile crime.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, the media, they blur the faces of every juvenile committing a violent crime. They blur their names. 75 kids destroying Family Dollar Store on West Manslick Road, and they were all blurred, their faces. Mom and Dad don't even know if Junior was out there robbing the store because they're not letting them know either. They're blurring their faces.
Is this an organized thing, or just kids getting together and say, "Hey, let's go hit a store
it's
today"?
Organized, and they can't organize it outside. They do it in social media. So why are we not finding that out?
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Didn't you find out though? It's not really against the law to not put their name.
It's not against the law to out the kids.
Just the media won't do it.
And because they won't do it. And I'm going after the media on this. And every time I see one, what's your policy and why? Yeah. So I've got them answering. But these kids, and I hear what they're saying, that we don't want to put a number on them forever. But these kids need a reset. And they need taken out of the streets, out of the gang, and have a chance to reset their lives with good programming. Got to have people in there to program. Can't just put a kid in with a career criminal, which I've seen happen, But we have got to have programs. We've got to take these people off the street.
These kids are committing adult crimes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are.
And I don't really, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, you're considered an adult at 18.
And you can be charged for an adult crime if you at 14 if you killed somebody. So we're fighting this, and I'll tell you, the juveniles, and they know that you're not, that they're not going to do nothing to you. But here's another problem that you got with the juveniles. There's 43 gangs that we know in Louisville. 43. Now let's say they get a gang member. That gang member, there ain't no place to take him, so they put him on home incarceration. Put the ankle bracelet. Well, guess what? Him and his entire family are now sitting ducks because the other gangs know where he lives. He's on HIP.
I never thought about that angle.
Neither.
And they're killing these kids. They're killing the moms and dads. I mean, they're blam.
Oh, my God.
And that's happening.
Wow.
That's happening because we don't have a juvenile facility.
Wow.
There are counties where we take them, and we're getting ready to tear down one that's 20 minutes or 30 minutes away because Oldham County wants to be pretty. and they don't care about Louisville and what we're dealing here. Well, if that's the case, and if Dollar General can build a store in 4 weeks, we can build a factory. I don't care what it is.
I think we need
these people.
Yeah, we need military school. So if you get caught doing one or two things, you're sent with a sergeant that gets in your face at 5 a.m.
Like,
I know.
Used to be.
Yeah, and but I just until they learn some respect and some some morals, it's not going to change.
The sad part is a lot of these kids don't have someone to go home to.
No, I know.
And you've got single dads.
Yeah.
And you have single moms that are
mostly
having
single
to
moms.
Work 1, 2, and 3 jobs to make ends meet, and these kids come home and raise themselves and their little brothers or sisters.
Yeah.
And they don't have the mentality to raise.
And that's what the nonprofits and the churches are supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And I blame the churches. I blame the churches for a lot of the homelessness, because if they were doing their job, big Southeast, big Northeast, all these big Catholic, big giant money, they could be building apartment complexes for these people and putting them. I don't care if it was just a 1-bedroom with a bath and get them off the concrete. They could do that. There's answers. There's answers to this, but nobody's doing it.
There's a bigger problem in that too. Then you have to have somebody work it and house it,
well, that's
clean
not a problem.
it, and
it's all financing.
That's not a problem.
If the funding could come, if the money could come, I'm sure somebody would step up and make this happen.
And you know what? We spend money on so many things. We say,
I agree.
We'll spend money on everything, but putting somebody out off the concrete.
Well, and I mean, mental health is a huge problem in this too, and we've got to get the resources to them and get them help.
And that's a state issue because we have no state hospitals to take them to. We have the mental inquest warrants. We've got, it's not just local. We've got state and federal issues we have to deal with. But for right now, some of the answers is we have got to learn to be able to collaborate with the sheriff's department who have arrest powers.
Yeah.
We have and you know what they're doing? You know what the sheriff does? They summons. They're paper pushers.
Well, you have to get the money into the budget to allow sheriffs, I think.
Well, you have to give the jurisdiction. We have a sheriff in our county clerk's office in Fairdale. Elementary right next to it. We had a felonious episode, a really bad episode, dangerous episode happened. They couldn't call the sheriff. They had to call LMPD, who's on the other side of the county, of the district, to get there. And all he had to do is walk across the street.
Yeah.
Couldn't use them. We don't use our state police.
I think we need the National Guard at this point.
We need the National Guard. I'm not looking for a police state.
No, I'm not either. But when your staff and your wife and your kids, when you feel that they're not safe to go to the grocery store. I was told the other day I don't let my kids or my wife pump gas. I try to do it myself. I was told that one of the worst places ever, especially for a woman, is to be staying in a gas pump.
It is.
It's dangerous as hell.
It is.
But it shouldn't be that way. I want to get back to Mayberry where everybody gets along and, hey, Elma, or whatever, and do their thing. But it's such a uncivilized I hate to say uncivilized society, but that's where we're getting that way. So, well, let's end on something positive. What's one thing in each of your districts that you're proud about that's getting ready to happen, and maybe you want to tell us about it, or something positive that's going on? Aren't you working on a grocery store or something?
Well,
are you trying to find something?
To get a grocery.
That's good.
That's been a process.
I bet.
We're finishing up Nelson Hornbeck Park. I've got some good people involved in trying to get that done. We're realizing we have to use a lot of private because our departments within Metro right now are in shambles. Parks, Works, Public Works, we just got a mess. So, but we've got people that Dan Jones with the Parklands that are helping us get this done. Your organ, Shirley's Way, has helped us. Has helped this group, and the park is going to be completed here soon. The roundabout, we're getting ready to redo that. It's going to be beautiful. Have murals put in. We've had the gateway, and they're getting the feel that somebody is there representing them and bringing some focus back to the area, and they're starting to get involved. And one of the biggest accomplishments that Lisa, my assistant, and I have is a senior program that we have. There were nobody. And now we've got 20, 25 seniors every day that are exercising. We have a nutrition program for the seniors. We give food away. And to see them seniors anticipate the next day. I mean, they're there and we got a big giant screen in there to do their exercises with, and they enjoy coming there, and they're having parties all the time. They bring in some of the best food
That's awesome.
ever. I'm telling you what, I got a lot of seniors.
When we first started Shirley's Way, we were getting shipments of shirts, and God, it would take hours for me and my dad and my sister. We'd take them out of the box, fold them, take them out of the box, fold them, and somebody said, hey, the senior center up the street, they need something to do, and they would love it. So I reached out to them. They knew who we were. We got some pictures. I saw them the other day of these elderly folks sitting there just having a ball. Folding our shirts. They all had one on, and it was really cool. It gave them some, something to be.
Purpose.
Yeah, if you don't have a purpose in life, you get up, you kind of lose hope for life,
seniors, You want to give them. One of the things we do now also in Fairdale High School, they have special needs kids.
Yeah.
So the special needs and nursing program are coming to the seniors. They're walking down, and the special needs are learning to interact, and our seniors are just taking them in.
Yeah.
And then the nursing students are bringing their blood pressure equipment, and they're running records on the seniors. So it's just been a beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, cool when things come together like that. Yeah. What do you got going on, Crystal? Anything big?
Well, I'm fighting on some things in the budget. I don't want to announce them unless I hear if I get on. But some
getting the coals out here.
Oh, we are fighting.
Isn't that the big question on Dixie Hill all the time? Is we get the coals?
I'm glad you brought that up, though, because
a Wawa.
Council cannot make someone put a business here.
I know.
We can try to fight for it, and we can suggest it, and we can make the conditions right for it, but we can't. And the same sentence, we can't tell someone they can't buy a property that's for sale and build there. Unfortunately, we don't have that kind of power, but something I can talk about that'll be coming soon, probably within the next 2 weeks. I'm excited to see them. We worked with tourism, and I tried to get arches. I tried so hard to get arches.
I thought you did.
Tried so hard. Ultimately, they came down, and we weren't ready for the arches in some of the places. But what we was able to get, we're going to have, it's a 15-foot sculpture. I've got 3 of them coming, and I know this isn't what we need, and if it isn't infrastructure, but that's all going to be wrapped up in the budget that we're not through yet. But something to kind of bring a little life to the area. I've got one that's going to say Pleasure Ridge Park, where it's going to be in the front yard of the Metro Arts building down there beside Timmy's. It's going to be 15 foot tall. It's Pleasure Ridge Park. It's beautiful. You can go take pictures of it, try to start beautifying that area. And then right in front of Shirley's Deals here in Valley Station, in front of this area out here, we're going to have another one. It's 15 foot tall. It says Valley Station. 15, beautiful, something you can take pictures with. And then we also got one on Blevins Gap Road that's going on that says Veterans of War. Cool. And that's going to go up there. And that's just a little something that we got coming from tourism. And I'm going to continue working on those arches for areas. I'm excited about some things that I've been fighting very hard for in the budget, and I hope that they come to realization for our area. But we're out here fighting, guys. We get a lot of calls and a lot of emails, and I assure you, we're human just like you, and we are one person that was elected by you to work for you, and I am trying to do that for you. Ultimately, you got us here, and you can get us out. And if you don't like what we're doing, it's the vote that does it. But
yeah, if you don't like it, go sign up and run yourself. How about that?
I'm out here every day. I'm in the district. I'm talking with people.
Don't you have a meet and greet or something coming up?
Yes.
Special guest. Who's your guest?
Speaking of that, my next District 14 Connect with Crystal. You can find all this information on my Facebook page. It is going to be June 25th at 6 o'clock at Sun Valley Community Center. And we've got Mayor Craig Greenberg coming out.
Wow.
We want you to be able to ask those questions. He's telling us he's here for us. He knows we exist out here in the South End, and he has been pushing that agenda to try to get some things done out here. And Craig himself, he's just now in his second year. So it is a learning curve when you first come in and try to take the reins and learn everything. And we want to give Mayor Craig Greenberg a chance to come out and show us that we exist outside of the Waterston.
I think, I've been here my entire life, and I think Mayor Greenberg might be the only mayor I've seen in our end of town in years. You see him out there. He comes to events. He's just a different cat. I mean,
he came out when the storms. He came out with the floods. He's been trying to come out into our neighborhoods, and he's having those sit-down conversations with us at round tables about what we need out here. And we just want to be respectful when he comes to visit us at the end of the month, and you have the opportunity to come and ask him some questions.
Sounds good.
And I hope you do.
June 25th, Sun Valley Community Center at 6 o'clock. The mayor will be here. Flag celebration. Oh, that's the VFW thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. So
got our name on there. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. So June 14th, guys, I was reached out to by the VFW. They are doing a Flag Day celebration at 1181, and they asked for sponsors, and they sent me something to sponsor, and they kind of pushed it out. So it looks like Shirley's Way also sponsored, and Jonathan Joseph and Dan Seum. It's a free event, guys. Come out. They're going to have games for all ages. Starts at 5 o'clock. We're going to have mini golf. We're going to have huge axe throwing. They're going to have laser tag, foam parties, bubbles. Yeah. As soon as it gets dark, we're going to have a huge screen out there. We're all going to watch a movie and give out some free popcorn and just make a family-free event for the day for everybody. So you can also find more information about that on the VFW 1181 Facebook page, as well as
if you email those to me, I'll get them to Ryan, and he'll add them to the podcast notes so people can see them.
We've got Derby City Mobile Fun Factory that is supplying all of that, and Ohio Valley Educational Cooperative will be there with sensory items, talking to people about preschool for our area that's right here in District 14.
Cool.
So,
Dan, we'll end with you. What do you got going on in Fairdale? Is entertainment? You got anything coming up? Meetings? You got a board? You got a board meeting or community meeting or anything?
Soon.
Okay. You had one not too long ago. The mayor actually came there as well.
We had the mayor there, and he's been out a couple of times. We just had the Forest Fest, the Bluegrass Festival up in the forest all day. Very successful. No more parking. We was maxed out.
That's awesome.
Good things are happening. We're going to keep pushing, like Crystal said. We keep fighting for Southwest Louisville. Jefferson Forest is a big one on us. Mm-hmm. I'm going to finish on the Capitol, and we're going to start working solely on policy here. We're in a bad position, and we're going to do what we can as a safety. I'm going to come out with a crime summit. So we're getting ready to pull in State Department and whoever we can that will help us fix Louisville and the crime situation we got.
Big stuff going on. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Lots of changes coming. And looking forward to it. If you need us for anything, obviously let us know. We'll talk offline about the homeless thing. I really want to do something about that.
We thank you all for everything you do out here, because it's groups and organizations like you that make change, and everybody sees it. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Sometimes I don't feel like people are paying attention, but because they do.
Pat yourself on the back.
They do, and there's not too many people that give back to the community like Shirley's Way. I found out about Shirley's Way when I was in Panama City Beach, and a friend of yours, Bob Higlin, called me up. He said, Mike Mulrooney's mother passed, and they have a bench out there on the pier, the main pier. And he said, would you take a picture of that and send it to me so I could give it to Mike? And I went and found that bench. I sat on that bench, and I've known you ever since.
Rest is history.
And we're advocating for Shirley's Way, Shirley's Deals. What you're doing for this community, not too many people will stand up and do.
Absolutely not.
And we value the friendship and the relationship we have with Shirley's Way. We're going to fight to keep you guys going, so you can fight to keep us going.
Yeah.
And we thank you for it.
We appreciate it. It takes a village, and it meant a lot when you sat there and visited Mom. I'm not real religious, but that's kind of a sacred spot for us, so it's pretty cool.
It was pretty neat.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon, and till the next episode.
See you all.
Thank you.